So it's been a while, I know, but we've been doing a lot around the homestead. I got this here at an estate sale for $5, but with the weight of it and the wind, it doesn't stay up very well. So I have this bent T-post that I thought wasn't going to have any use. It was going to need to be thrown away, but I'm able to use it now. So welcome back to Star Chaser Ranch Homestead. Today I am wearing my bibs because I've been in the dirt pulling T-posts, painting T-posts, rearranging, cleaning things up. I am so excited for spring. I can't tell you how excited I am to get started on spring. So I direct sowed some plant seeds, some flowers, calendula and amaranth out on the east property line over there. So along the fence line, we'll have flowers and stuff growing. That's going to be a great pollinator attractor, as well as things like ladybugs. They love living in that. Green lacewing, they will eat aphids. So I'm definitely trying to create more of a pollinator attracting garden this year. So lots and lots of flowers are going to be going in. I'm going to be doing a whole lot of changing around, rearranging, like the elderbush here. There's quite a few there, but they're growing out of the bed, and they pretty much eliminate the ability to use that walkway there because they grow out into the walkway and they block the way. So I've had to cut a lot of branches down. So we're moving that completely and moving those probably to the property line fence south line, actually. That way they can just have the space to grow and bloom. I am going to be collecting a lot of the elder blossoms this year because I have so many bushes. So let's go look at the property line real quick because I have so many plants. So this here is fencing that we had up in Cascade that was just there with the property when Wes's parents gave it to him. So we brought this fencing down here, and it's too big. The squares are too big to contain things like chickens. So what I'm going to do with it is create trellising. I did that with the welded wire fence, but it's not as structurally sound as this fence here. This is a lot thicker wire, so a better gauged wire for growing plants up. So a good friend gave me a bunch of T-posts. I do still have some from previously, but what we're going to do here is we're going to be trellising things like cucumbers and melons along the fence line at 8-foot intervals. So what we'll do, I'm going to go around this way, otherwise I'm going to get caught. The raspberries are completely out of control. But we're going to have 6-foot trellis, about 8 to 10 foot space between, and then another trellis, and then we're going to have other plants in between, growing in between the trellises. But I'm planning to have about 10 of them down this way. That way I can have a bunch of cucumbers and melons. I have had multiple requests for different types of melons. Everybody wants rich sweetness again. That's just given because it's really good. So if you noticed, the T-posts are spray painted, different colors. I learned that from Jess at Roots and Refuge. I really like the way it looked in her garden, so I've integrated that into my farmstead. So definitely spray paint my T-posts. But you can see down the fence line, we're going to be putting a bunch of those up along there. We're going to grow the plants up it, and that way it'll be cleaner, easier, and a lot easier harvesting, I think. The high tunnel still has a lot of stuff growing in it. So let's go take a look real quick. Whew. So I probably should have opened this up earlier because it's like really warm in here. But as you can see, lots of stuff still growing. I have not actually had a break this year in growing. There's been stuff in here all year long, so it's been wonderful. I just did pull a bunch of stuff out and feed it to the cows and the rabbits and the chickens so that I can make room for other stuff. So this bed here, I planted a bunch of onion bulbs that nothing happened. Now I have onions. So apparently they needed to go through a cold season in order to sprout again. So lots of onions. I can start harvesting those throughout the summer. But super warm, super amazing. I do get to take these down now. This was the double cover for the winter season. So these get to come down. It'll give a nice cleaner look. And then I'll be able to start putting the trellising up in here and get prepared for the summer crops. Speaking of, let's go look at the 1,200 seeds I planted. I have some seeds in the talk and some seeds in the greenhouse. The ones that are in the greenhouse are the ones that are The seeds that are in the greenhouse are the ones that are really, really cold tender. So they definitely cannot go out in the talk because it's just not warm enough for them. But this is my makeshift in the talk seed starting. I did go to Kim and Ken's, the one that gave me the T-posts, and I dug up a bunch of poplars. So I do have poplars that'll be going into the farm, certain areas just for shade. Those were the double covers, and really interesting way of tying those up to keep them nice and tidy. Found that on YouTube. So if you're wondering, just search. So you can just Google how to tie your row covers and it'll come up. But those are my seeds. Some of the seeds, the rest are in the greenhouse. So, but like I said, sorry, haven't been around. I have been around. I just haven't been around YouTube because it's been super, super busy. So my little Roo, who had a broken leg, is doing fantastic. He actually gets to stay out in the garden because he doesn't dig much. And when the cow eats her morning slop, she will... Sorry, I think someone's in heat because everybody's mounting her. So the little Roo will eat all of the slop that Mabel throws on the ground during the milking. So he gets to come out here and eat all that and live out his life. So my raised garden, we call this the raised garden or the herb garden. This is going to be specifically just herbs over here this year, so we won't have any produce over here. It'll all be over in the east garden. So this is going to be herbs, and I have a whole bunch planned for starting in mid-March. Because we are in a microclimate, we're more zone 6B, while everybody else is more like 7. We definitely get colder here, and it stays colder, and we don't heat up as well. We're usually about 5 degrees cooler than our friend Kim and Ken, who I don't think you can see, but they live like way over there, over that way, more to the west, and they are about 5 degrees warmer all year long than we are. They definitely get a little bit more wind. We get a lot of wind, but they get more because they are up on top of the hill. But anyway, so that's what's going on at Star Chaser Ranch. So if you'd like to learn more about Star Chaser Ranch, definitely follow, subscribe to the channel, and you'll see everything I do, to include all of the mistakes. I don't leave anything out. So if you want to see a real person doing real gardening, definitely subscribe to the channel, and we will see you again next time. Bye.